Cosmoteer. Now, I know I'm not able to load in the game, just so people can actually see it. This was the save load. I even went to the Steam Cloud to try to actually get it down, and it still has this null value, which is basically when you're repairing the ship and you try to save the game in the middle of a repair, it kind of breaks. So if anybody's wondering what the error code actually looks like, let me open up a brand new notepad real quick. Looks like this. Pull this in. So here's the error code. I went in and I tracked it down. I looked through the actual code and I looked through it and double checked to make sure where I was having problems with. And then I also Host recommended to go into the Steam Cloud to try to get it. Wasn't able to get it. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into engineering session. So I've been taking this particular ship and I've been completely revamping and changing it to basically what I was looking at is trying to keep 76 crew. So you see how this is 76 crew. I know it's not a full amount of people to man the ship, but to make it an actual effective ship. So I've taken the version that I had and then what I've actually changed on it. Now the cost is almost only 40,000 more, but still the same exact crew. The difference is I've changed the armor, I've changed the back to actually have a capacitor, I've changed storage back here, increased the storage here, reshaped the armor, changed the dedications for the lasers, how the lasers are actually placed, and then also changed the priorities for the actual users so that it can be just a tiny bit more effective than it was before. Now that was one of the most significant changes. I actually really like this ship a lot. So when I start a new playthrough of No Pause Cosmoteer Grand Admiral Engage, I'm going to, because I'm gonna have to start over. The save is corrupted. I can't load the game. But with this one right here is the one that I want to actually use to get to first, and then build several of these to actually help out. Because you can see right here, it actually demolishes and take this one out. So lots and lots of changes to this one compared to the original. You'll see that I've even moved lasers around. So this one had just a small laser and then 3 disruptors. I actually took one of the small lasers out and just left 3 disruptors, and then changed a bunch of the armor significantly and how people actually route. Oh, and then I also took away one of the factories and added in manipulator beam emitter right here. I've noticed that one extra factory wasn't actually needed. I also changed the position of how the factories are facing. So you see these factories right here, you see the sulfur is this way. Because the sulfur cache is here, I actually flipped this one this way, so the sulfur cache is facing closer to that. So if you come over here and look at this one right here, you'll notice that the sulfur is now easier for it to walk just here to get to there. Also the door, and then they have access to here, So changing the direction of it and then changing how the sulfur can get in helped a lot. I also switched this one, so you see how the sulfur is closer to this side, and the ammo's on both sides so that the ammo can be provided to it. So ammo on both sides for this side, ammo on both sides for this side, so the cannon actually works a little bit better too. So those are the changes that I made to this 2 cannon ship, which is again what I'm looking to do, because it's 76 crew, which is what I want. Now the other ship that I was comparing this to, which I still can't beat, which is one that was designed by Zonsko, which is this one right there. But the difference is, and the main reason I never built this one in the actual game, is this is 110 crew compared to 76 crew. And as you were noticing, or for those that are watching my No Pause Grand Admiral Engage, crew is my biggest downfall. Now I did try to design a cannon ship like this with a cannon with 4 factories. But the design on this one, because you changed that, you have to increase the head armor, and then the ship becomes bigger, and then it costs more for what it was trying to do. This ship is lacking a few things, such as it doesn't have the storage, extra storage space. It doesn't have the energy manipulator that you could easily just put in somewhere on the ship. But the thing is, this ship requires 110 crew to fully operate, and this ship doesn't fully operate, but it functions at 76. It functions to a good enough point where it does enough damage to the ship. It doesn't normally ever win versus this ship, but it does enough damage. The other thing that this ship has as well is much more movement, because it has 4 engine rooms instead of just 2. And then it has the point defenses facing forward. So now the main reason I have so many point defenses is in No Pause Grand Admiral Engage, missiles, and I want to showcase just how missiles are just so much more powerful. You can see right here, significant damage, 76 crew compared to 110 crew. Still did good damage, still has good movement, and it's a much smaller ship for what I'm going to do, and I think it's better for the career sense of where I wanted to design it. Okay, what I want to showcase now is another ship that I've been working on significantly too, which is this one. This was the original where I started out at, and because I hadn't played No Pause Grand Admiral Engage for so long, I hadn't modified this ship in a very, very long time, plus with everything that's new. So here's the original design. You can see it's lacking armor, like how a lot of people gave a feedback on. And the frontal armor was too weak against those railguns, those early railguns that you face into. So here is the new modified one where we fixed up the frontal head armor so that railguns can't just pierce through easily. It still can, but not as easy. We changed the armor significantly back here. And the main reason why this armor change makes such a big difference is, let me showcase just how much this armor difference does. If you add just another layer of armor, too much more, then they don't target this. So they're actually trying to target this back cannon right here, which is the cannon I do want them to target, which makes it so that these other 5 other cannons, I might lose another one, can do more damage. So you see right here, versus the original versus this one, they're trying to target all this layer of armor, so if you add too much, then they can't target this one. You want them to target the outer cannons first, and then right here, this one's already lost 4 of its cannon, and I still have 4 cannons in this one. This one only has 2 cannons. So it makes a big difference with just a small armor change. Now then, I did also consider, okay, what if we put even more armor and change it more? So I'm going to showcase another version too, but I'm going to show the differences between an in-game ship like the Polaris and how these ships actually face versus each other. Now this ship will win eventually because it has more deck cannons and has more ability. I still have lasers firing on and everything, and you can see how it destroys it. In most cases, it almost always wins now, which is a tiny bit slight more armor and a few tweaks and a few changes here and there. As well as this one should also have, I guess I never actually put the energy manipulator in there. This one's just too much of a pure combat ship. Okay, the other ship that I wanted to showcase this one is this one, which I also made changes to as well, versus the new version of this one. Now this one that has tons more armor and also takes less crew, this one that has tons more armor does win versus this one. However, this one is much slower, and this one is missing point defenses, which are critical when it comes to missiles to missile combat. So this one right here, it wins almost all the time versus this one because of the extra armor and a front-to-front facing battle. But when you're playing career games, a lot of times you're going to face ships with missiles, projectiles, and all these other different things. And when you're playing a No Pause Grand Admiral Engage for myself, those missiles, they do significant damage regardless of how much armor you have. Armor is cool, but it doesn't actually prevent, and then you need movement as well. This extra armor slows your ship down significantly. As you can see, the tons more armor easily can protect against the cannons and everything else. Different use case scenario. Now, because they also changed the AI as well for the closest ship, they target the closest ship. This was ideally going to be the tank because they normally always attack the highest costing ship. And I was trying to build this one as a tank and then have other bunch of flankers, but it doesn't work that way anymore. The AI has been changed to difference because the developer changed it to be much more intuitive for target the closest ship. And so let me showcase this right here. So if I come over here and I come to combat and I take in the Polaris, I actually wanted the Polaris on this side right here. So I take a Polaris over here. And yes, the heavy armored ship is cool. So let's go ahead and take in 2 of these heavy armored ships. 2 of these ships cannot beat a Polaris. And the main reason why is they don't have the movement and they don't have the point defenses. So they're not self-sufficient by themselves. So 2 of these ships, they can come in, and then they also see how they don't fly very good because they're so heavy. 2 of these ships can come in here and they can do some heavy damage to the Polaris. But the Polaris, because it has so many missiles coming at it, it doesn't survive very well. So yes, it's heavily armored, but if you have missiles coming from all these different angles and you have a very slow ship that can't maneuver around, it's a very big problem. Somebody left me a comment saying, well, why don't you add more armor? So this is what I did to this one. This one, right here, This ship right here has a whole bunch of point defenses on it, on the front and on the back. Just 3 on the back, 3 on the back, with support with energy and dedicated runners to actually support the frontal ones at least. And what it does, well, I don't know what the AI is doing this time, but what it does is you can see I have maneuverability to get from behind. There are enough point defenses to actually stop it. I did lose one ship, but most of the time, 2 of these ships, because they can maneuver and because they have enough point defenses, can normally take out the Polaris most of the time. And this is where point defenses play a huge role in how this is all built and how this is all designed. You can see right here, the point defenses are still stopping all those missiles. So on a Grand Admiral, if the missiles are landing, you're going to take a ton of damage. And that's not what you want to have happen to you. But these 2 ships, you can see, stand a much better chance. Just added a little bit more armor over here. Yes, I still lose a cannon back here. If I add too much extra armor here, which I've been playing with the armor, then they start targeting other places. And I want them to target the end points, because if they target here, then it cuts off the ship, I lose engines, and I lose a whole bunch of other things. And I don't want that to happen either. So I purposely do want them to target this back one, but have protection with a layer of armor here. It's purposely forcing the AI not to target any of the internals and targeting the outer part so that you can do more damage and live longer and actually survive. It's designed that way. Yes, it's a little fragile glass cannon, but it does a lot of damage. Now, I think one of the last ships that I really want to showcase here is this one that was built. This one right here was just a pure point defense ship. And the reason why this ship is going to be actually very effective when it comes to in-game career game is this one only requires 40 crew. So it's taking out those 2 yellow ones. But this one actually has a bunch of small lasers and a ton of point defenses, while also still being able to tank and do a tiny bit of damage here and there. But these point defenses was just 1 point defense ship, and then this one, it can stop lasers. It can stop a few nukes. If you have more than 3 or 2 nukes, this many point defenses doesn't stop them, but it can blow up 1 or 2 nukes with the amount of point defenses with it, depending on how fast they're flying and where it's coming from. Now, obviously, the AI doesn't control this ship very well, but it is semi in the right spot. But you would flank it over here, get closer, stop the point defenses, and take out this. So when you manually control the ship, which I want to showcase here, take this ship off, come over here and manually take in this one. Come over here, target this, and stay semi-close. I actually want this to be just like this, and then target the reactor. What it does is it sweeps in, it's got tons of movement. You can see right here, it clears off all the missiles as needed. It also has point defenses on the back and on the side to help clear off missiles this way and that way. So it's just a supporting ship. It also has an energy manipulator to help build. It's got great movement, only requires 40 crew. And this is a great support point defense ship, specifically designed to stop all these projectiles. And I put lasers on it just in case, because, and you can see right here, it easily wins versus the ship with 2 of them. I put lasers on it because sometimes some ships don't have projectiles. So the 2 extra little bitty lasers can help assist with doing just a tiny bit extra damage, as you just saw, to take out weak points on the actual enemy ship. Now, I do want to showcase that this ship was actually pulled from design contests and was pulled from this developer right here, or this person that made it. So I took their base design and I changed it significantly. So you see, this one requires 60 crew, it's 359, and this was a combat point defense ship. But I loved how he had this shaped, and the layer stacking of shields was so well developed. He had 3 shields here in the front, spaced out, and then a shield back here and a shield back here, and you see that's the base template right here. I ripped off the extra wings and all the extra crew because I didn't want 60 crew, and I changed it to this. And then I also changed the crew dedications and changed a bunch of other things on it as well. So the nice thing about this, and the original person that developed it, as you can see, it has a whole bunch of different shields, which works magnificent. And then you have back shields as well, helping to protect as well. And then you have, what I changed is I changed it so that I have dedicated crew runners. These guys back here. change this, and this is actually supposed to be combat, so they're supposed to be shooting. So these guys can shoot and do this. But the difference is, see how these capacitors are all out of power? The original designer didn't have any capacitor runners. So what I changed here is I have 4 crew on each side. These guys are specifically designed as capacitor runners. All they do is they run into the actual energy and they supply power to the capacitor so these other guys can just keep going. Now this ship still functions even though these are red, but I wanted it to always have power for different reasons in case something else happens. And they don't ever beat each other, they just have a stalemate and just keep fighting each other back and forth, kind of like this. But I just wanted to showcase, this is where it originally came from, this person, the C2 Etch person that developed that. Alright, I know I've showcased a whole bunch of these ships and went back and forth, but what I really wanted to keep doing is I wanted to keep working on this one, 76. And I wanted this one to be able to beat this one too. Hold on, let me showcase this one as well. I also took all these ships and I placed them in the Google Share. So for anybody that wants to actually play around with these ships and or test them out, you're welcome to. They're in the Google Share, which is in the link in the description. Has today's date in it. That's not what I wanted to do. Normally there's 2 of these ships right here used to be able to beat this, which is near the same cost, almost near the same crew. And when you have flanking ships like this, you would assume that 2 of these ships should be able to beat this ship, but that doesn't always happen. In fact, this pure laser ship, which has no cannons, has no projectiles or anything like that, it actually a lot of the times can beat it. Depends on what the angle this one gets into and where the AI decides to actually shoot at. This one can blow up this one and then it can turn and then blow up this one. Doesn't always happen that way. As you can see, 2 cannon ships, when you have 6 cannons in 2 different sides and 2 different angles, this ship can still lose. But a pure laser ship that can tank, and this was the other idea too that I was going to do for No Pause Cosmoteer Admiral Engage, was trying to build a tanky ship that didn't require any projectiles, any ammo, to actually function and work. So I want to ask on this particular stream as well is, who thinks I should start completely over and start at level 1 again and go, and or continue doing the same No Pause Cosmoteer Admiral Engage 2023 and go from there and just go to level 18 area. I would love to hear people's feedback and see what they say about that. And you see, right, this one ripped this one apart mostly. Then once it changed directions and it hasn't lost everything, it then rips apart this ship and blows that one away. And you can see there's enough armor in the back, the layer stack, to stop them from actually hitting this huge target, which is what they're targeting at. And it blows this ship apart and blows this ship apart. This one took me many months to design. I never really showcased it too much. I know there's a few episodes where I showcased this one, but this one, as you can see, it comes from the original Vega, and you can see it's still going to lose right there if the AI doesn't turn. Rip that ship apart, and then it will rip this ship apart. Most of the time it doesn't lose this much armor, but its frontal is really massive. It can do a lot of damage. Its back is just enough to protect, long enough to destroy. So I'm really enjoying this ship and all the help that everybody gave. A lot of people from my community Discord helped to put the double lasers. I like this double laser feature. Nub Gaming, hello, welcome. Yeah, liking it a lot. Good changes. Alright, face this ship, which 2 ships I'm going to want to work on is this ship and then the 6 cannon ship, this ship. Not a fair comparison, 2 cannons versus 6 cannons, but what I want to fix here is armor and increase it to be better. Because you see right here, they're still hitting the lasers, which I don't want them to hit. And then they're also hitting here, which is where I do want them to attack. I want them to attack this armor and attack the shield. If I add any more extra armor, they don't target the large shield anymore, they just target all the weapons. Now the way that these little disruptors are placed, the AI doesn't think they're a big of a threat. So the main reason why you use small lasers and disruptors is the AI doesn't think of them as big of a threat compared to shields. So what I was thinking of doing on this ship right here is changing these heavy lasers to smaller lasers. I don't know if this is actually going to help it or make it worse, but I want to see what this does and if the AI actually decides to target and change it. So we're going to change this one to 0.9. We may have to roll it back just in case. But what we're changing here is we're testing where will the AI shoot and what can I build upon. And then can I add more armor now? You'll start seeing me less from tomorrow. School starts and I've got lots of vision classes, so not much time. That's okay, Nub Gaming. Thank you for hanging around and commenting. Yeah, I understand people have work at school and everything else. And you can see right here, they didn't target the lasers as much, they target the shield. So it did change the AI's behavior a tiny bit. And then they started shooting these because of the armor placement. Because it's just enough armor before they start targeting this. And then they started to target that because there's not enough armor there. So the change of behavior with the AI, with changing the weapon systems, is interesting. What if I change those two and left it like this? And then here, I want to add a tiny bit more armor. Just to see. Resave this as 9 because I'm not sure I actually like it or not. We'll see how this goes. So added just a tiny more layer of armor. I kind of want to actually put more armor right here so the AI doesn't target it. And you see it was too much armor. And now they target all the weapon systems first. One piece of extra armor and they blew up all the weapon systems on this side. And the AI is now targeting this side for these ones. Alright, let's face it versus a different one. Let's come back over here. Let's take the original 0.8 that I was working on and see if the AI targets this, because that's a 6 cannon ship. Let's see. In this particular case, because the cannons are not on the outside but the inside, this one is still fine for the armor where they're not targeting the weapon system so much. Where this side, because of the weapon placement, you can see it's now targeting the weapon systems first. It does have a bunch of red back here for engine rooms as well as the actual weapons. It's because it's 76 crew and it's meant to run with 76 crew, but things will still turn red because the disruptors and other things are not needed until the combat's actually over. So it is running with a lot less crew on purpose. But I'm thinking the smaller lasers up front helped, and then a bigger laser in the back here helped with the AI not targeting them. We're going to run it again to make sure. We still lost this part right here. We lost this cannon, so we may have to improve the front armor just a tiny bit more. But you see, as long as we keep our lasers and everything else, it does good. Still won, even though we changed just a tiny bit of armor and then changed the way the laser system works. Let's double check it to make sure that it wasn't just a fluke. Okay, so you see how they targeted the heavy laser, and the heavy laser became a target just because of positioning, flight pathing. Which I'm also okay to lose this heavy laser because of the armor, and I didn't lose the shield yet. Now the AI is trying to target this. See, they said they're targeting the shield. And I feel like this cannon, if I could move this shield one up, Because you see how they're ripping off too much armor for the deck cannon, and then I'm losing this deck cannon because of how I place the armor heavier. Unless I put this as armor too. That's what I want to do. I know I have these fire extinguishers in case it catches fire, but this frontal armor right here actually needs to change to armor, and this needs to change to armor too. And I may want to move this. But we're going to leave that it is for right now. We're going to save this as number 9 again. I'm not going up a version because I still don't know if I like it, even though it wins. I want to add another piece of layer here, another piece of layer armor here. I wanted to see if I added that extra armor there, if it changed the behavior too much. They targeted the heavy lasers. Which those heavy lasers have no protection. They have these small lasers. I'm still liking the double lasers better. I'm still liking version 8 better than version 9. Version 9 is cool, but too much armor changes the behavior too much. If I could add, that's where I want to add this and see. There might be too much armor. Try that again. Yeah, putting this crew right here makes this a lot weaker right here at this point. This needs to move. This needs to move and this needs to move. And I'm trying to see where to put it. I could put it here and then have that as... Where to put it. And you can see, well, once you add too much armor, this one always wins now. So it's not always just about adding more and more armor to the ship. You add too much armor to the ship, and it just doesn't function anymore. All because I just added a little bit more armor here, a little bit more armor here. So I know that a lot of people, or the stream is saying, add more armor, add more armor. But you see, when you add just even a little bit more armor, the ship just doesn't function anymore. Not the way that it was supposed to be designed to. This needs to move and this needs to... I don't like number 9. I'm going to stick with number 8. This is the one that I've already worked on. And then I've also checked the back armor as well. The back armor works for flanking and everything else. The main thing that I test on flanking is if you take number 8, which is the one I'm going to keep, and you take a whole bunch of these small little guys, Normally for these little guys, which cost more and near the same crew, for these little guys, which has a bunch of little lasers here, when you flank from different angles, a lot of times ships can't handle. When you see how fast the ship maneuvers, it turns around, can blow up ships semi-quickly if it gets into. You have defense on the back, defense on the front, layer stacking of armor in the middle, can maneuver. Salute Unexcited, welcome. Yeah, this is the ship I want to work to for No Pause Cosmoteer Admiral Engage. The first ship I want to build to. As you can see right here, it does really well for just 76 crew, which as you can see I was having a lot of problems with. Now if you take multiple of these 2 cannon ships and face them versus something bigger, they actually can handle it very, very well. I'm going to get rid of version 9 because version 9 is not what I want. We'll come back to 8. And if we take, this is where I really want to see if it can do it, because I don't know if it can. We come to Imperium and we take the next level, which you take Archimedes. Now Archimedes, I don't think 3 of these guys can take on Archimedes, because Archimedes, you can see, has nukes, has a lot of missiles. You can see right here, just wipes out the front of this ship, but the ship actually blasted the whole barrage of nukes. Now 3 of these ships could work if this ship caught right here and blew up this one right here. But you can see there's also coming in and hitting from, I don't know what the AI is doing on this. But 3 of these ships could stand a chance if it hit through right here and aimed right at that. So if it was actually controlling them, you can see it's lasting pretty long versus Archimedes for the same cost range. Now obviously when I get to the Archimedes level, this level, I'd have more than just 3 of these guys because it's the crew count. Yeah, manual control of these ships, you can see it did good damage to the Archimedes, but didn't actually take him out. Even if I were to just take 1 of these ships, so if I were to come over here and actually go to the battle helper, rip 1 off, and then pull in 1 manually, like this, even just 1 ship manually controlled, and I say face right here, and target that and this, what will happen here is it will flank, try to flank, and you can see I have good movement to be able to sweep like this, so that's why I keep it light, keep it small, not put too much armor on it, specifically to be able to maneuver like this. And you can see the AI, every single time you get too close, and I purposely put them close, the AI is trying to swoop and aim at the closest target. So whoever is closest, so you can actually gamify the AI as well by making your guy close, just like this. Blow up this side too, and this one, and then this one. And now I took out all its movement. And once you blow up that, then that takes out all that. But it just takes, you can see this ship is really 76 crew, has good movement, 2 cannons, lots of firepower, and can swoop and fly around and be able to maneuver very well. And I didn't want to add too much armor, but enough armor to tank and do well enough against the nukes that are coming at you. So another person also left a comment, what's the best defense against nukes? The best defense for me personally is to fly around and maneuver. Tiny, battle sim in groups is always an issue. This is very true. This is very, very true. They've added a lot more. Oh, the other one that I really wanted to look at, I think it was Monolith. What was that new Monolith ship that they added? Was it the Collider? Was it this one? think it was this one. So in the patch update, which I was showcasing, this ship, this collider, is dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Yeah, this is dangerous ship. So I was working with yeah, I definitely, this collider right here is and so I know I worked with Validator. I'm gonna pull in this other one. So I worked with Dwayne Wayne, and me and Dwayne Wayne, I can't remember where I put it. I put it here. No, I'll probably put it here, right here. So me and Dwayne Wayne collaborated, and we made a bunch of other validators. And then this is the one I want to see actually if it wins versus it. So this validator right here has been changed. You can see the front armor change and everything else has been changed on it. I want to see if this new validator can win versus this collider. Because look at how this collider purposely is a ramming ship with these right here, and it's purposely pulling the ship. You can see right here, I already ripped out part of this part right here. The collider is a dangerous ship, I can already tell. I think this is another ship that I want to work on, because this would be a neat ship to face, to play in game for different reasons. This validator always won versus almost all the other versions, but I can already see that with the tractor beams pulling and then 2 ramming ships, I'm actually interested. If I take 2 colliders and face it versus Archimedes, how would that do? What does everyone think? I'm gonna speed this up because they're circling each other. Yeah, I already did damage over there. But I did lose this side with the collider too. I wanted them to just ram and stick with each other and hit each other. And it's all about ammo storage at this point now. Okay, so the collider ran out of ammo, as you can see. And the validator right here still has ammo on the cannons, so it can still keep firing upon this one, where this one has already ran out of ammo. So that was the thing that I was thinking about the collider didn't have, is it doesn't have enough ammo storage. So that's good to know. Okay, if we take another collider, Cabal, Combat, Collider, not Cabal, Monolith. Monolith, Combat, Collider. Did like this ship. Take 2 of these. And what can 2 of these face versus Imperium? Can it beat an Archimedes? I don't think so. But I'd like to see. Now you see the Archimedes, they even changed this too. Deck cannons use a lot of arm ammo over prolonged fights. This is very true. But what I wanted to see here is, you see how the nukes, they hit themselves, so they didn't actually blow up. So you see both the colliders kind of entrap this. And you see how the nukes are blowing up on themselves. So they're not actually doing the damage. Okay, the missiles from behind rip the collider up because the collider has no back armor. So that obviously that's its weak point. Hey Chris Moon, welcome. But they did do good damage, as you can see right here. It forces another ship and collides with them and then sticks to them. 2 colliders is not actually going to do it, probably 3. But 3 colliders, very much closer to the same cost range, a little bit more crew. I don't know, I don't want to even face one of these things in the game. But a nice thing is they do have a weak point at the back. You can see how the missiles are hitting from all these different angles. This is true. Archimedes has the big weak point is crystals. But I can see how the collider, if you actually control it and faced it right here and right here on the back. Yeah, two of these guys would do some really interesting damage. It's an interesting thought process. All right, I didn't save one yet, so I'm actually going to save one in the folder that I want to work in. I'm going to save the ship design. We'll put it in PWIP2. There you go. Now I got a collider to work on. The next question is, can my two cannon ship beat a collider? I don't know. I've never faced it versus this. Yeah, you can see the tractor beams make it so that even if I have thrusters, even though I'm trying to turn fast enough, it's constantly pulling the ship. Yeah, the collider has a huge advantage. I don't like the circle, circle, circle. But that's mainly because my ship is trying to maneuver around this other ship. Speed that up some. Very certain the collider is going to win. Which it did. Alright. Let's try this. Because the AI is not good at what I wanted to do. Rip that ship off. I'll have a collider in there. I will self-control this ship. And I want to target that, but I want to be from behind. Not going to let me. It's going to do a front-to-front battle. And the collider has too much armor on the front for me to face. It's got armor and it's got these 4 small shields to help with the actual center piece. So me aiming even at this right here would still lose. I just wanted to see if this would also face this like this. Yeah, I know the collider's pulling me in, and also I can't escape it. Not on purpose. I would control the ship more and try to actually turn the ship, because you can do this. So you can take the ship and you can come over here and you can hit the R key and you can say rotate. So you HH and you hit the R key and you say rotate. And then once you rotate, then you escape out. I already lost it. So if you're in this situation here, let me just show it. So if you're stuck in a situation like this, what you want to do is not to stay in that same. You come over here and you attack this ship, right? Wait, that's the AI, sorry. You take this ship and you say, okay, face this other ship. I want to target the command deck. I want to escape this way. If they ram you and you're not able to get out, like if you actually get stuck, and I didn't get stuck that one time. I wanted one of the engine rooms, honestly. But you see, I'm not turning fast enough. But I'm targeting one of the deck cannons first, because this is what I'm actually aiming at. And then I'm going to target the second deck cannon and target that. What should happen is if I blow up this deck cannon, and then there should be ammo storage back here. If I target... I already lost the ship. But if you get stuck, then you rotate your ship so you can roll off and then actually escape. In the context menu, you can just select player 1 disable AI on the ship. Oh, I guess that's another way to do it too. Yeah, for its cost, the Collider is a tough ship to actually face. For the same cost range. Similar cost range. Like, even my ships cost more but less crew. So what Unexcited is saying is you come over here, load the 2 ships in, restart the battle, come over here, you still have to pause it. Pause the game. You have to turn the AI off. Then you come over here and you play as player 1. And what happens here is then you can actually control the ship. Now what I'm doing is I'm using full engines, and I'm circling. You see the cannons are not. The AI is the AI not shooting? Oh, you just can't get in a rage because I'm circling too fast. That's not what I want to target. Yeah, my deck cannons, they're not able to fire because I'm rotating too fast and he's rotating too fast. Yeah, and the heavy lasers are outranging the deck cannons. So in this circumstance, when you put this attack pattern, because it's trying to fly at full speed to get behind, and this guy's trying to fly at full speed to get him forward, you can see I'm actually outranging him because I'm being like an orbiter, and I'm orbiting this ship and actually attacking this ship. So if you encounter this ship with this ship, this two cannon ship, you can still probably win in this use case scenario if you're in open space. If this was in an asteroid field, I wouldn't be able to do this. Or if there was more than one ship, you wouldn't be able to do this. You can see right here, I'm outranging this guy because of this. And now we're gonna actually take out that engine room. I'm gonna try to take out another engine room after. Take out that one first, and then take out this one. And try to aim at that. Now that I lost the engine room, now it's not circling as fast. Yeah, you're just whittling them away because of a range. Which is a nice thing to have lasers on the side. It's actually impressive that this is able to do this. Because I didn't think this ship would even win versus the Collider in most case scenarios. And then slowly but surely it will wipe that out. Yeah. This is also true, as Onyx said it's saying. The nice thing about lasers is you don't ever run out of ammo. It's all just based on your energy. This would be a very long fight to fight in the game, but as you can see, you can win versus a Collider. Well, that was interesting. Okay, I want to face it versus one other ship that we might face in the game. Not only would you face a Collider, the other one that's interesting to face is the Validator. The original Validator. AI's turned back on this one, but let's just let the AI do its thing. I want to see how this actually plays out. The Validator is a completely different ship because it doesn't have the tractor beams. It's got the ammo, it's got the cannons in the front and the cannons in the back. And then you can see right here, the Validator has different movement pattern compared to the Collider. It actually has reverse thrusts and sideways thrusts, which in my opinion this is a more different use case scenarios. Completely different one has tractor beams and it rams into you on purpose. This one rams into you, but it has the ability to circle and do more damage. So you wouldn't be able to do the same thing to the Validator. I don't see myself doing the same thing to the Validator. Yeah, completely different use case scenario. Massive bomb of that. This is true. You could blow up this, which would explode most of it. So what Unexcited is saying is if I come over here and I turn the AI off, play as player 1. If I come over here and I were to target this and I were to say from behind, if it even lets me. Now this is where you get stuck, so you hit the H key twice, you're going to rotate the ship, which should try to rotate you one way or the other. rotate him off. Try to. Now I'm rotated the wrong way. You gotta rotate off, and I know I did it wrong. But you basically rotate. I was hitting the T key too many times. Do that again. You have to rotate them off so that you get, and you have to have enough engine power to actually do that. Let's turn the AI off. Try to target this. Wrong button again. T. So if I can get behind. Well, maybe you will get the same scenario, but I wouldn't want it. As you can see, the cannons are placed in two different places, so the deck cannon can still fire on you, like how they's firing right now. This is what I want to blow up first. Take out the engine room, take off this side point. This is the weak point on, this is the one weak point on the validator from the side. And then you have the weak points in the back, just like you said. There's a big bomb in the back. But you gotta be able to reach it. And if you can't get behind them, then you can't reach it. Not with a single ship. Two ships you could take on the validator, you just get from behind and blow it up. But a single ship versus a single ship, you can see the validator has a lot of speed and a lot of ways to turn around. And then I got rid of all those weak points on all the modifications that we made to the actual validator. So when you actually take this one right here, that's not the best version, this one is. You take this one right here, those weak points on the back are a lot less. Including you have armor in the back now, and this is not a big explosion point anymore. So even if you get from behind, it's not that weak. You can try to hit from here, but you can see because the validator moves at such decent speeds, trying to hit into here just to get that engine room is also very hard because you have 4 deck cannons firing upon you constantly, doing a ton of damage. So the weak points on this ship are very much minimum. Still has weak points, but they're very minimum, and it's hard to break through. This is a very deadly ship. But this is not a part of the challenge. This was not a part of the challenge. The original one that I posted in the comment is a part of the challenge. This one's just this one's a little too strong for what I wanted to put it as, because this one's nasty. Like here, I showcase it just how nasty it is if you face this one versus the one that I made, which already was devastatingly. You can see it even costs even a tiny bit less, but because with Dwayne Wayne, we changed the frontal armor. He changed the frontal armor and changed the shield placement. Where this one right here, the shield placement is nice, but it's not as good. This shield placement and everything makes it so much more deadly. And then spacing out the deck cannons even more. This one right here is even more deadly because you can see it rips apart this. It's even more protected. It pounds through. You don't even actually lose a cannon most of the time because of the way the armor is placed, and it completely rips apart this validator. And this one already is very, very deadly, but this one just takes it to a whole nother level. Anyways, those are the different ships. I'm gonna have to wrap this up, so the next one that we're gonna be able to do is I'll have to start all over again for No Pause Cosmoteer Grand Admiral Engage. And or the question goes out to people that are here, that are watching, is if I come over here and load the game, do you want me to start all over again or continue on with that 2023 session and get to the level 18 area? So right now I'm in 14 to 16. Should I go to the 18 area or start all over again and start a brand new session? I'll leave it up to the audience to decide. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me how you want me to actually proceed. Load this game or start over from scratch again. Let me know. Anyways, if you enjoyed this content, please feel free to... It will be fun to see the level 18 area, okay? Of gaming, I'm going to agree with you. We'll continue on with this one. We'll just continue what we call it episode 11, but we're continuing on from the 2023 save. See the level 18 area. But yeah, if you enjoy this content, I don't know what language it is. Porque no las dos. I don't know what that means. If you enjoy this content, please feel free to hit the like button. It helps me out a ton. It helps to push out this content to other people, bring awareness to it. If you like, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, especially what you don't like, so that I can improve and make better content. If you have not already, please feel free to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay as well. Come back once a week, once a month. Check out what content I have. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. You all have a wonderful rest of your day. Chris Moon, it's a Mimi. Why not both? Chris Moon, I agree with you. I very much will do both. It's just which one we'll do first. Level 18 area first. Showcase that one and then start all over again. And because what I want to do is quickly get to the 76 crew 2-deck cannon one. That's what I plan to do. Anyways, thank you so much, Chris Moon, Unexcited, Nub Gaming, and everyone else has commented or been here, Tiny as well. And we will catch you all in the next one.